Hey there, welcome back to the Fanboy Cantina. It's a special day and a special time for this week's episode. We are joined by MIB Master Toy Museum, and Mr. C, I could not be more thrilled. Can you hear us?
I gotta say, my answer is to say I'm excited, but I gotta say today I'm at 11. MIB, welcome to Fanboy Cantina, sir. It is our pleasure to have you as a guest on our channel.
Oh, guys, it's a pleasure to be on the show. Like I said, I'm a big fan of the show. Watch the show. I'm a subscriber. So I mean, when you guys reached out to me, that was a no-brainer for me. So like I said, I've been excited for a whole week, thinking about being on the show. So I can't wait to get into it.
Awesome. Awesome. No, the honor is entirely ours, and we already have people commenting in the chat. Let's go. It was 10. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Junkyard with the comment. Okay. It's a dialogue amongst themselves.
Oh wait, there's one more comment that just dropped in the comments.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes. No, and thank you. Yes, definitely. If you have not seen MIB Master Toy Museum, definitely check him out on YouTube. Afterwards, lots of great content that he has. All right. So, Mr. C, it must be windy out where you are. I can hear the chimes.
I hear chimes.
It's like soothing.
Maybe I should take the chimes down.
It's fine.
Switch off the two symbols.
It's fine.
It's great.
We're having a tropical hideaway here. You've got the tropical background. I got the Hawaiian shirt on for some reason, and
the curator is in the west wing of the museum, which he founded. So we're all in the right place, all in the right time.
Awesome.
So we have questions, of course, for MIB, but before that, because MIB is our third guest to this channel. Our first guest was the casual crafter. Our second guest was the associate and ally of casual crafter, the wizard of the 3D printer known as J-Spy. And so when Crafter came on, our t-shirt specialist known as Junkyard in the chat here generated a customized casual crafter t-shirt. And so in our same tradition now, for being a guest on the show, we would like to present to MIB.
Oh, wow.
A one-of-a-kind, custom-made MIB t-shirt.
That's pretty cool. Look at that.
Very nice.
Well, customized t-shirt.
Now, it clearly is not in a box, though.
But it's okay.
I mean, you may yet put it in a display box in the museum, or you may wear it. The future will let us know how that will go. But in the meanwhile, after we're
that's fantastic.
We'll make sure we ship that over to you.
Thank you.
All right. So now that I got that, because I did not want to forget that and all the excitement of the business. So MIB, you have just recently had your 5-year anniversary on the channel, on your channel, on the MIB Master Toy Museum 1979 channel. So first of all, just congratulations for 5 years of content and collecting and sharing and building community.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's when you're having fun, time truly does fly. When you're having fun, and it doesn't feel like it's been 5 years, but it has. And I'm happy to be here 5 years later, still going strong.
At the peak of your powers, entering the prime of your curatorship, still strong. Okay.
Absolutely.
My other question, so kind of chicken or egg, which came first? Was it the collecting that came first, or the idea to create the community and make a channel, or was it more simultaneous, or how did it come together between your collecting and your creating your channel?
The idea came from what came first was my collection, which really started off with just GI Joes. I had a massive GI Joe collection, and I would play around with videos, but I wouldn't post anything. And then I saw a young guy's channel. His name is Sir Mathis, the YouTube channel Sir Mathis, and he's a GI Joe collector. So one day I got home from work, sitting on the couch just relaxing, and I tuned into his YouTube channel, and he had his top 10 GI Joes of all time. And this is how I know I'm getting old, is because his top 10 GI Joes of all time was down in my collection. Like, oh my goodness, these are things that I remember actually purchasing at the store 20 something years ago, and so I wrote into his channel, and I told him that was fantastic. I have about, if he had 10 of those, I had about 8 or 9 of those. And he said, wow. And so I went down to my collection and made my very first video that I posted to YouTube, and I named it, the MIB Master Toy Museum. But that's how it started. So it's the collection first, and a little help from a good buddy of mine by the name of Sir Mathis. And check his channel out. He has a ton of fantastic videos. He takes all his stuff out. He takes it, as much as it pains me, but he does. He takes it out of the box on right on the channel, and shows you all the parts and pieces and puts everything together. It's awesome though. Yeah, so that's how it started. And 5 years later, and here I am.
It is surreal that we're all of a certain age. We're all like about the same age. So yeah, I identify with you. I remember in the 90s picking up some of the same figures that you have, and wow, that's now a quarter century old, if that can be believed.
Yeah, I can't believe some of this stuff is decades old. I was looking at a couple of my GI Joes the other day, and I'm like, wow. I remember when I got this back in like 1990, 1991, and where we're at now, 2022. And it's just, and that's another thing with my collectibles. And I blew somebody's mind the other day. They were do you remember, every item that you purchased? I said, I have a small story for everything that I've purchased, and I have and it's crazy, but I have that ability, I guess, the connection, I guess. But I have over 7,000 items in my museum, all mint in box or mint on card. So I could tell you, if you guys came over to the museum right now and blindfolded me and went in there and picked something out and showed it to me, I can give you a story or background history on that item, where I was at, what I was doing, where I got it from. So I'm probably gonna die with all this stuff. They're like family. So it's strange that way, but it's a true connection. And the only way I could think of doing something with creating a channel, and my wife actually came up with the curator part. She was like, it's like a museum down here. It's like so why don't you can be like a curator or something. And that's where that part came from.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, when you're with your videos, I think what is very distinctive about your style compared to like everything else is you tell the story of the toy. You tell that it's not just, here's an Adventure Team Repro figure. You tell the story behind it. Sometimes it's about the background. It was a limited from XY. It was an exclusive from XYZ retailer or something like that, or your experience in buying it. Every once in a while, I enjoy where there's a price tag on it, like. I think you had like a local toy store that's no longer in business, or KB Toys, right? No longer in business. And it's those little moments where it kind of jogs memories, you know, of the local toy shop or that experience. And I think a lot of us can identify with that joy of going to the toy store, regardless of age.
Absolutely. And you know, everything you said is just my way of creating videos. Is I'm trying to evoke, if you will, a sense of time machine type of storytelling. You know, this is, you know, I want you to I want to transport the viewer back to his or her, you know, time period when they remember having that toy, or the thought of standing in a five and dime store when they were a kid, or in a Woolworths or a Toys R Us or Children's Palace, Kitty City, wherever you were at that particular point in time, and seeing that toy on video on my show, you know, seeing it again. I want to evoke those awesome vibes,
Yeah,
you know, to get those, to pull those memories out of everybody. And that's the fun part, because that's what really got me involved in it, you know, growing up in the 1970s, you know, and remembering my trips with my aunt to Woolworths and to those dime stores where I was able to get the big bag of Army Men, and you know,
yeah.
and my favorite action figure of all time, which really started this whole love affair with action figures, was the Gabriel toys, Lone Ranger and Silver. You know, so that's what started in it. I had a video. I have still a video of that, the Lone Ranger, and I tell that story about the Lone Ranger and what it. And surprisingly enough, he's the one figure, you know, blow you guys' mind. He's the one figure that I don't have mint in box. I'm still looking and searching for the perfect one. You know, it has to be perfect. And Silver has to be in his box, and Lone Ranger has to be in his box, still in the poly bag with nothing on his you know, every accessories all tucked away, nice. Has to be perfect. But you know, it's those are the memories that I thought I would outgrow. You know, I'm in my early 50s now. I'm 52 years old. So I thought I would outgrow this by now, but no, I haven't. The kid inside of me refuses to give in to the adult. I just have more financial firepower now. I can do more damage now.
Oh, quickly from the chat. Yes, I miss Woolworths. I was just thinking.
Yes.
So Mr. C and I grew up like less than a mile from each other.
Wow.
And or like how many blocks? 5 blocks from each other. There was a Woolworth in between us, right?
On Devon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Closer to Western.
Oh, okay. It was that way. This is a bad use of time. Sorry.
No Woolworths.
No Woolworth. Yes, you're right. It was on Devon, closer to West. That's right. It was the other direction. All right, but there was a 5. There was a 5 and dime, if I remember. It was a True Value, I think. That's what I'm mistaking. Okay, I remember going to Zare and Venture for Transformers and GI Joe. Yeah,
Zare's. I remember going to Zare's back in the late 1970s, 1978, 1979. And they would have a bin stacked full of Mego figures. But they were not in the package. They were all loose. So they put them all in this big bin. And, you know, I think they were going for like maybe 60 cents or something like that per figure. And I wish I could go. You're talking about time machines. I wish I could step back into time machine. I remember finding the Horrible Mummy. Remember the Horrible Mummy and Mego figure. And I remember as a kid, in my 8-year-old mind, okay, I said, you know what I'll do is, because I know my parents are not going to let me have this right now, I'm going to bury him so far down into the bottom of the bin, okay, when we come back, he'll still be there. And that was the purity of an 8-year-old child that was going to try to protect the figure that he couldn't have at the time, but he was going to come back and get. Sadly, I was never able to go back to Zare's and find him.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I have fond memories of Zare as well, and I remember buying the GI Joe Tomahawk, the Real American Hero thing, and that was a special one for me. I had saved up my money, and yeah, that was a big deal. The joy of picking up toys as a kid, and okay, quickly other thing, yeah, Cut Rate Toys here in Chi-Town, and what is this? Jim Campbell writes, just got here. Thoughts on the dying art of package art and no plastic window box?
I've been getting a lot of those questions in the last couple of reviews, especially with the new Ghostbusters set and the beautiful GI Joe set you just showed me. There it is right there. So that has really garnered the question that this gentleman had just asked the question. And the packaging art is everything, especially for an MIB collector. And when you can't take stuff out, you want it to look beautiful enough where it can display, and it has to be display friendly. And I think the GI Joe set is fantastic. I like the cover part where you can lift it and pull it off. The only problem with that, Fanboy G, is that if you are going to keep it perfect inside the box, I wouldn't take it on and off too much, because what's going to happen is you're going to, it's very flimsy, the cardboard used. It's very delicate, I should say. It's beautiful and yet delicate. So you're going to damage that. And that's what everybody's complaining about. And with the window aspect, they were frustrated by the fact that they wanted their figures a little bit more protected, encased, if you will. I, for one, love the fact that it doesn't have a window. And I'll tell you why. Because basically, now that I'm on the media side of things with the YouTube channel and stuff, filming, as you can see the glare off my glasses, it's the worst, your worst enemy when you're trying to film. You're going to catch glares and reflections of other things and in your collection and stuff. So to have a just no window,
right, to
shoot that with a camera is beautiful, because you're going to see all the grains, the fabrics, everything. And both videos I did on the GI Joe and the Ghostbusters video came out beautiful just because of that. No glare, but the sheath, if you will, is the one that it protects it. So I might take the GI Joe. I haven't, since I did the video, I haven't taken it off. I haven't taken the sheet part off, the covering off again. And with the Ghostbusters part piece, I did it for the video. The next time I do that, it'll probably be another 2 or 3 months when I get it. I get the urge to look at them again.
Yeah,
which is a whole nother topic. How often do I look at my stuff? No.
Well, like with the Mego GI Joe that I have, so this would not pass the MIB Master Museum criteria because it arrived thanks to the flimsy packaging. It arrived dented. So this would have been like one of those situations where I would have been on the fence of whether to open or keep in the box. But since it arrived dented, I'm of good conscience in opening it, So my Mego Ghostbusters hasn't arrived yet, but I'm hoping that it's okay.
We're praying for a safe delivery.
That's right. All right, back to you, Mr. C.
Well, back to me, back to our commenters. So we've got a bunch of our regulars. When we do our nighttime show, sometimes we have the good fortune of having screen name The Mandarin, and screen name Blue Sasquatch join us, so we might have thrown off the timing, but we got our other core of regulars right here. I want to jump back up to an earlier comment. Answer just as he was posting. I'm clicking. Here we go. For some, okay. So you had just spoken on the Lone Ranger piece, and simultaneously this question was coming into the chat with all of you collected your votes. So it sounds like the Lone Ranger is definitely your most sentimental. And so would there be a separate piece that was your price tag wise, sticker wise? Do you have, or do you not want to reveal that information because you don't want unwelcome knowledge to the museum trying to access the museum?
Well, I tell you this, and the thing is, with the Lone Ranger piece I have was one that I found off eBay. He wasn't my actual one that I had as a kid. Naturally, that one was gone. So if I were to find another one, like I said, in perfect condition, he probably would be he's definitely my most prized possession at that point. But there is one piece in my museum that I hate. I don't even think this exists. If there was ever a situation where something happened in the museum and I only could save one item, that one item will probably be my G.I. Joe, as I'm looking over at it, my G.I. Joe Humvee armament carrier vehicle, which is massive. It's absolutely massive, and it weighs probably maybe 25 to 30 pounds. It's a big set, 12 foot to 12-inch G.I. Joes. My wife bought that for me for Christmas of I think it was 2004. You know, the piece came out in 2002, 2003, I believe. That's how hard it was to find, but she was able to find it off of Hasbro. They had one or two left. She ordered it for me. So that has become my most prized possession in my entire museum. Out of all 7,000 pieces, it's mint naturally. It's mint in box. It's in pristine condition and everything, which is rare for such a massive box that has to be shipped. You know, and that's the most prized possession. And I got a video on that. You can actually have a playlist of all my G.I. Joe vehicles, so you can go and just look at all my G.I. Joe Jeeps, you name it, Humvees, motorcycles, you name it. So, but that's my baby right there.
I have some of the same that you do. I know you have the Chenoweth, the light strike vehicle.
Yeah, vehicle ATV. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have that one also still in the box. I have the black version. There was a desert version as well. I don't have that one.
I got that one with the two. That one came with the two figures.
That's right. Yeah.
And speaking of gravity,
yeah,
that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
That was one, the sand colored one.
That's right.
The tan colored one, that was the one that actually had a little bit of issue with the gravity. So yeah, which you could tell, like just like I was devastated for like 3 weeks. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean that's I feel you on that one. That one's a special one in that it was hard to find because it had the figures and then the extra wheels that were mounted on the side of it. Yeah,
that was a selling point for me, was the extra figure and the extra two wheels on the back,
right,
mounted on the back. And I said, well, you know what? They're just doing extra stuff now to get our money, but I couldn't leave it there at Toys R Us, so I had to go get it.
Yeah, no, I don't have that one. That's a nice one. That's a real nice one.
I've been offered money for that one. I think the highest, I think some collector wanted to go for it. He wanted to give me $800 for it.
Oh man.
And I said, yeah. I said, no, it's just, it's not even about money at this point. It's really about the memories and what these toys mean to me. So I never sell anything. So I'm kind of like Jay Leno in that regard with his car collection. I never sell anything. I just collect it. I don't sell it.
Nice.
All right. Well, I mean, we like to incorporate our community and our commenters. So let's go again to TriStar G. with the LOL. He just connected the dots for MIB to be mint in box. Definitely clever. Don't worry about your comprehension, my friend, as I have the airplane going over my head. Back to our regular.
No.
Is there any kind of double entendre, double reference to Men in Black, or is it just more coincidental that the initials of MIB for Mint in Box along with Men in Black?
It just so happens that the MIB, everybody knows the movie, the Will Smith movie, MIB, Men in Black. No, it has zero to do with that. I get it though, but really it was just and the way I didn't give myself this name first and foremost. Didn't give myself this name was given to me. I believe back in 2012, a collector did an article on me. He has I think it's called the G.I. Joe collection or something like that, and he did an interview with me, a write-up on me, and he called me in this write-up on the front page. It was Johnny Shudrick is the MIB master. So, and because he was amazed that everything I had was still in his box, and he said, well, how could anybody, with that type of mental fortitude resist not taking all these beautiful G.I. Joes out of their box? And he was like, well, one person was able to do that, and he's the MIB master. And so that kind of stuck. So that's where the MIB came from. I didn't decide to add all of it together until I started the YouTube channel, and that's where the name MIB came from. Mint in box, master.
I feel like we just got treasure and gold from that answer right there. That's great. And so Chai-Star G is the art director. He designed the Fanboy Cantina logo,
which is super cool. Super cool, by the way. That's really cool.
Got to recognize. Good on the questions and the comments, good on the visuals. And it is Junkyard, who is a t-shirt man who designed your t-shirt. And Junkyard's question to you, do you ever buy multiples? Now, I know the answer to this question, but I'm not the guest. So do you buy multiples, but do you ever open out of the multiples?
I buy multiples, and the reason I will buy multiples, if I really, really like a figure a lot, I will buy multiples of that figure. I'm looking around to see if I can see something that I might have a multiple of.
Like your Frankensteins and your Captain Kirks.
Absolutely. So like the green shirt Kirks, the Frankenstein, both of them actually, the Son of Frankenstein and a regular Frankenstein Mego figures. If I really like something a lot, the only way I won't get it if it's super, super expensive, like my Falcone figures from Brazil. I would love to get them, but at nearly 100 per figure, it's very difficult to, for me to explain that to my wife.
Yeah.
Why I need two of the same in perfect condition that I'll never take. And to the other part, I would never take it out. I know a lot of people buy one to keep and another one to take out, but I buy two just to look at. That's it. That's all I'm gonna do. I'll come down here with a cup of coffee and sit back, put my feet up, and just take it all in.
Nice.
We'll take that as the opportunity to speak on the coffee. It is your frequent, recurrent line and message. You're down in the museum, be it Saturday morning or whatever other time you may be broadcasting with your coffee. So what is your preferred flavor or brand of coffee? When you're speaking of the coffee, what is the coffee that you're speaking of?
The coffee, my favorite coffee is Maxwell House. I know people think, is it some gourmet type coffee? Is it something he has shipped in or something? No, it's just Maxwell House. The Columbia roast, dark roast, and that's my go-to. And just so happens that my wife and I are on the same page with that. So it's her favorite as well. So we're not butting heads in the grocery store or anything like that. So that's my go-to. But the coffee, where that came to be, it's just it's a sense of relaxation for me. It's a sense of comfort. I know some people have comfort food that they like to eat or their go-to or whatever. Coffee has always been mine. It's a sense of just for me, being a poor guy, it's it's the one rich aspect that I enjoy. That I can feel, that I can really truly just take in and enjoy, and with my toys, just sitting down here in a museum, there's days where tough day at work, tough day with the kids. You got to run everybody around, and this person has basketball practice, this person has volleyball, this person's in the band. So just a nice relaxing day for me. Come down here when all that's done with my toys and have me a cup of coffee and do a couple videos. So that's where you'll see multiple videos. If you see 2 to 3 videos in one day pop up on your alerts, that's because you tell yourself the MIB is in a good place. He's really having fun down there.
Well, speaking of that, and I hope that the plane over my head is mostly clear of the noise it's making right now. But I was clowning with MIB in his comment section. I'm like, wait a minute, man, your work rate, your production rate, your publication frequency. I was getting the notes ready. So his most recent works are the Falcon imports from Brazil. And then, no, scratch that. Your most recent work was the 2 figures of Shazam. No, scratch that. Yeah. Your most recent work was the Slade, Deathstroke, Mego. No, scratch that. No. Your most recent work was Batman Beyond. No. I'm impressed by your work rate and your production rate.
I listen. And the thing is that it's so I'm having so much fun that I can't. It's very rare I'll do one video. I would have to be really tired, really exhausted. In some cases, that is the case. But most of the time, when I'm doing videos, I'm just so into it. And I said, you know what? I have so many subscribers now, and I have so many toy lines that all those subscribers and viewers are fans of. So like my Barbie fans, my G.I. Joe fans, my Falcon fans, my Mego fans, just my miscellaneous toy fans, the Dollar Tree fans, So I'm trying to do a little bit for everybody, like the Soldiers of the World fans. I was told that a couple weeks ago. A guy wrote in and said, "Hey, haven't seen any new Soldiers of the World videos, man. I'm a little bummed out, And I said, you know what? I got you. Don't worry about it. So it's like that. I have just so much to, I'm trying to keep everybody happy. So you don't see something. Yeah, you don't see one thing you like here at the MIB Master Toy Museum. I guarantee you, there's 2 or 3 other things that might catch your fancy.
That's awesome. I watched the flamethrower. You have flamethrower guy. I'm sure he has a better name, but flamethrower guy.
That's the flame gunner. You yeah, that's right. That's his name.
So, but that was not something that you commonly see.
Right.
That line is kind of ignored, and to your comments in that video, there's a lot of nice, really, really nice accessories, and it's a shame, kind of with the evolution of the toy industry or where things are at right now.
Yeah,
that scale doesn't exist on shelves anywhere.
No, it's a lost scale. It's just the 12-inch action figure. For me was fantastic. Guys, we had a great time in the 90s, especially when G.I. Joe returned, because when G.I. Joe returned, its popularity really created a lot of those toy lines. And we were seeing a 12-inch Star Wars figures again. You know, the GI Joes, and then you know, had other awesome toy lines like the Soldiers of the World, which I didn't give a lot of credence to at the time because of GI Joe,
right?
You know, and Star Wars and other things. You know, so but looking back on it now, that was a really fun toy line, and I was very fortunate to purchase a massive lot of those figures from a good collector buddy of mine by the name of Roberto Golte. So I call it the Roberto Golte collection. You know, anytime I gather a massive collection big enough from a collector, especially a guy that keeps it as pristine as I do, you know, I'll label it that. You know, so it's yeah, those Soldiers of the World figures are so awesome, and they're used a lot now for custom fodder and things of that nature, because the uniforms are so beautiful, and all of the, you know, the weapons and accessories. So, but you know, and nobody really wants those figures, which is crazy to me. And that's another reason I created the my museum, you know, so people could see these figures, how they appeared on toy store shelves, you know, 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so since we're on Soldiers of the World for a little bit here, total sidebar. I've had a few over the years. One figure that I picked up that I've never seen again was a motorized figure, and it had a battery pack, and the guy would move.
Yeah.
And it worked for me for all of 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And then the battery like got really hot, and it was like a fire hazard.
Yeah.
I've never seen this toy again. I kind of wish. I
think I know which one you're talking about. Yeah,
I don't want to burn my house down, but
right.
I kind of would like to see the toy because it was a cool concept. I thought it was cool that Soldiers of the World was doing something like that.
I remember that. I believe I remember that figure. Very difficult to find that guy now, especially you know, mint in box. I think I've seen him.
You've seen him? Yeah.
I think I've seen him one time at it's a place I go, a store called the Exchange. They're in different parts of the country. I don't know if it's in you guys' area, but it's a place I frequent a lot because they do have a lot of stuff mint in box, and it's older stuff. So I did see him there. The box was very badly damaged, and I said, "Yeah, I can't do it.
Can't do it. Yeah, doesn't meet the criteria."
Yeah, it's hard to get into the MIB Master Toy Museum Club. You know, if you're a toy, you know, it's hard. There's some standards involved.
So the velvet rope outside the museum entrance that you gotta earn your way beyond the rope.
Right. You know, and then one guy wanted to know if I ever had anything that I didn't want or was banged up or dinged up or whatever. And I told him, I was like, man, hey, my name is MIB for a reason. I said, you'll never find that there, not here. So that's just, it's an illness, guys. It really is. I don't wish somebody has to burden this load. You know, somebody has to do this. And I think a subscriber wrote into the channel, and he really let me have it. I mean, on a negative sense, he really, he unloaded on me real good, and said, "This is the most ridiculous channel I've ever seen in my life. You sit up here and you talk about, you know, a toy inside of a box for 10, 15 minutes. You don't even take it out. You know, we don't know how it works. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen." And then another subscriber wrote in right behind him, and it was so cool to see this, to read it. And he said, he told that guy, he was like, "You have to understand something. These are things that we'll probably never see in this condition ever." Yeah. I remember this toy that MIB's talking about. I remember this toy 30 years ago, and to see it in its box and to see it, everything, all of the instructions on the back, all the labels and everything, to see this like this. He said what he is doing, what MIB is doing, is preserving toy history. He's like, so if you know, if you don't like the channel, that's one thing, but somebody has to do it. And I thought about that. I was like, you know what? He's right. Somebody has to do it. You know, it's not necessarily I want to do it, but it's somebody has to. You know, this is my cross to bear, if you will. You know, it's because I know it. And you know, I'll do this a lot in my videos. I'll tell viewers where to go to different channels if you want to see, you know, these items out and about. You know, I did a on one of my really cool RC vehicles. I think it was the Sharper Image Burnout drifter car, which is super cool. I'll tell people, check this video out on this guy's channel. Check this video out on this guy's channel. He's going to show you how it works and how it moves and all that stuff. But, you know, this is what I'm doing right here. And yeah, surprisingly, I'm shocked myself. I didn't think I would ever see 3,000 subscribers ever.
Fabulous.
Beautiful number.
Yeah. I mean, I just didn't think the market was there for somebody that talks about toys that's still in their box. You know, and surprised. I was, you know, I'm pleasantly surprised that, you know, people have really enjoyed, you know, watching what I do and what I collect. So that's it's a win-win for me, guys.
You've got, and it's not just the number, but you've got an engaged community that you have got the regular commenters and all of that. That's just sort of the backbone of having a richer, you know, conversation with people about the toys. It's wonderful that you've not just got the numbers, but also the engaged subscriber base. That's awesome.
I enjoy engaging with the subscribers and the viewers. It's just another way for me to do what I'm doing right now, talking about the hobby, talking about something I'm truly passionate about. It's so much fun. So I try to answer all of the comments. 98% of them are always positive, and you know, 2% of the time, you know, you'll get those guys that just want to throw shots at you. But sometimes I'll if it's clean enough, if the answer, the questions are respectful enough, I'll respond. If they're just a little too crazy, then yeah, that guy's can get blocked.
I'm so glad to hear that there is the block option or the block concept. You're getting banned from the museum, if you will. Let me tell you, amongst the many, I didn't make a list. Maybe I should make a list of the many things that have impressed me about you and the way you conduct your channel, but just your general positivity, but then specific to your positivity for, I don't want to say full on hostile, but to an aggressive or disagreeable commenter. And you're always so chill and positive. And you're like, hey, I appreciate you have a different viewpoint. I'm defining myself and my channel here. If I'm not for you, there's a different channel out there. And until a few minutes ago, it did not occur to me this way. But a toy historian, an anthropologist, as well as a curator. So if you were to open up these things again, but using that museum analogy, you wouldn't want to go see some dinosaur bones that were intentionally, then the Discovery team is putting chips in them and such. So it is a fossil. And
absolutely,
and
Mr. C.
Preservationist of the fossils.
Absolutely, absolutely, and you put it beautifully, Mr. C. I couldn't say it any better. It's just at the end of the day, it might sound silly to some people, and probably not us, because we're toy collectors and we have the time invested in it and growing up and the memories and stuff. So it means something to us. But just for your casual person that wants to see a toy or see how it works or something, it won't mean that to them. But at some point, I would like to think that, you know, they'll look back at my channel and they'll see the work that I was truly trying to accomplish, with my channel. And it's toy history it's just, for me, it's at a different level of collecting. It's just not collect. I'm not just collecting. I'm preserving. I'm trying to curate this collection of toys that people can actually go back and categorize and look at and say, man, I remember that. I remember that. That came out 40 years ago. 40 years ago. I mean, wow. And look at it. That's how it looks. And I get it. I had a collector buddy of mine that had a cool story, I should say, real quick. He had an action figure, and he said, man, I remember this action figure. I can't remember which one it was. He said, I don't have the packaging. So he texted me and said, hey, MIB, if anybody knows this figure's packaging or has it mint on package, it's got to be you. So he sent me a picture of it, and I sent him a picture of the actual figure and all of its glory, if you will, in its packaging. And he said, man, I didn't realize that it had 2 or 3 items that came with it. Oh. And I didn't remember it. I never thought about that. I said, yeah, see, you're seeing it encased perfectly. He said, man, this is a 30-year-old figure. And to see it again put together like that, he's like, that's amazing, man. He said, and that's why I love your channel. And it's, and stuff like that, stories like that, that keeps me going. It tells me I'm on the right track.
No doubt.
Yeah, one of the things that I really love and about your channel that's very distinctive is, and Mr. C. So Mr. C actually connected me to your channel, introduced me to your
fantastic.
channel, Chris referenced Casual Crafter as somebody that we've gotten to know, and he's got a distinctive style too, where in his case, he's creating things. He's making custom Mego action figures, and he's going through the design process, or how he does his paint work, and it's relaxing actually to hear him talk about stuff, his thought, what's going on in his head, all of that. And so identically with you, for me it's relaxing actually to hear you talk about whatever it is, whether it's G.I. Joe or Barbie or anything else in between. It's relaxing. You're telling a story. It's like soothing in a way, if that makes any sense.
No, it does. I've been told, what's those AMRC? I can't think of the name.
ASMR.
ASMR. Yeah, those ASMR. And I think I was doing my for all my Vampirella fans out there, my comic book fans, horror magazine fans. They said it's the way you read from the book. It's the way you explain the book when you turn the pages. It's so soothing. It's so relaxing. It's like I love the Vampirella videos that you do, because the intro music, your voice, and one guy said, hey man, you got a radio voice, and I don't process like that. Yeah. I don't process like that. I think if all of us, we can't stand the sound of our own voice. We have to hear it all the time. So to hear somebody that say that, hey man, you should be on radio and things like that, it's like, okay, hey, I appreciate it, but yeah, I don't see that.
I'm also marveled by your technical merit, because I struggle with being able to do 2 things at the same time, like anything at the same time. And so you're able to get the video of the item, do the narration at the same time, and tell a story as you're going. That's like 2 separate sides of the brain that I don't have. Like I only have one half or a fraction of it.
For me, it's just this one collector buddy of mine, he said he's got all this technical stuff, editing equipment and things of that nature. And he was like, well, what do you shoot your videos on? Well, I said, I use my phone. He said, what? I was like, yeah, I just use my phone. I don't.
That's awesome.
Really, yeah, I don't get into all of that. Editing is very easy and minimum. I don't do a lot of that stuff. So it's really me and the toy, and just me enjoying the toy in that moment. And whatever comes out, it just flows out for me. So it's I don't, somebody said, well, do you have do you write a script or anything like that? No,
Wow.
it's just from here. It just comes
amazing.
out. Yeah, it's that relationship with me and that toy at that particular time for the 5 to 10 to 15 minutes I'm doing a video with. You're getting how I truly feel about that toy. So when people write in and says, man, you just made, I wasn't thinking about buying this toy. I wasn't thinking about looking for this toy, but after seeing this video and just getting caught up into, man, how cool it is and how cool you were making it sound, I have to have it now. So it's like, oh, hey, I appreciate that.
Yeah, your Falcone videos got me reacquainted with Cotswold. I haven't thought about Cotswold in quite a while. I used to buy a lot.
Yeah.
And, yeah, those were pretty tempting.
Hey, listen, they were not going to redistribute any of those Falcone figures. And I'm not saying it was my video that changed everything, but I had a lot of people calling into Cotswold Collectibles asking about those figures, and they were not going to, re-release any of them. Now in November, a lot of those Falcone figures that I did videos on will be re-released in November. So you can put the pre-order in, and people that missed out on them have a chance of getting them now, which is cool. I think everybody should be able to enjoy the hobby.
I completely agree, and I think it actually gets to one of the comments, if I could put it up, Mr. C, in the chat. Thoughts on toy exclusives like Target and Walmart G.I. Joe exclusives? It's great if you can get it. Obviously frustrating if you miss out. And Comic-Con exclusives. Thoughts on that?
Listen, exclusives are fantastic. The kid in me and the kid in all of us, there is a part of all of us. We say, if anybody denies it, they're probably lying to themselves. It's fun to say that I got this and you don't, or I have, there's only 10 of these and I have one of them, and you don't have one, and it's cool to be in that exclusive club. That's the fun part of the exclusivity, aspect of those toys. The uncool part is what the gentleman said. It's they're hard to find. They're hard to come by. You have a lot of people at these stores that work there that will kind of let stuff fall off the truck, if you will, and it never sees it never hits the toy aisle. And I have 2 or 3 toys in my head now that I know that it's never hit the toy aisle, and it's like, but you go on to eBay and you find, 50 of them on eBay for astronomical prices, and which is, I think, is tough. And I mean, it's going to be kind of interesting to see with the 50th anniversary Mego figures, how that's going to come about, because they're not so much as exclusive as they are popular. So there are toys out there, especially Mego figures, that this side of the country can find them, that side of the country can't find them, and they were saying, well, for collectors, help each other out. We shouldn't have to do all of that. Just get the product out there, and especially the exclusive stuff. Get that stuff out there to the fans, and you're gonna have a bigger fan base and a bigger customer base if you do that. So yeah, I like the exclusive stuff in one regard, but it is it easier for me as a YouTuber, a influencer that's connected to a lot of the different toy companies? Is it easier for me to get a lot of that stuff? Yes. And that's why you'll see me do a lot of the giveaways, because I think everybody should have it, but just for your just regular collector, if I can just use that word, to somebody that's just a casual collector, it's very difficult. It's hard to find this stuff, and I've been told that a lot on my channel. Great review, great video, but this is probably the closest I'll get to that toy. It's just I can't find it. They're not out there, so I try to do my due diligence and kind of help with that process of getting the word out, talking to a few toy companies that might be able to get stuff out to people, so to the public, and say, hey, look, they want it. They want it. So I think there is a small responsibility as an influencer that we do have to our craft and to our hobby, especially if you do have that connection, those connections.
I hope that Cotswold is listening and sponsors the MIB Master Toy Museum channel.
That'd be fantastic.
That'd be good, and good for them too.
Yeah, sure. There's one cool company. I mentioned them a million times. I can't say use their name enough because they're in Ohio with me, and actually they're about maybe 30 minutes away from the museum. It's movie posters, etc. Movie posters, etc. And James, the owner of movie posters, etc. He and I got a great relationship. Great guy. I'm a fan of his. He's a fan of my channel, and it's he does pretty much what you said, Fanboy G. He listens. He really listens. Tunes into my channel, and we'll have separate conversations, in private. And I say, hey, this is what they're looking for. This is what they like. If you can get this, if you can stock with that, and he has everything. So it makes it's another option out there for fans of Mego figures and other toys. They can't find it on Big Bad Toy Store. They can't find it on Entertainment Earth and these other places in Target, Walmart. You can find it at movie posters, etc. And because of that, I love to see that he's getting a ton of business because of that.
No, that's great. And something happened with the audio. I don't know if you hear it, Mr. C, or just me. Do you hear it, or?
Yeah, it was. I'm hearing MIB's vocals in a little bit of a different way than what we were a few minutes ago, so I'm not sure the source of that.
I don't know.
But so we just we hope either live or replay. So speaking of that, and Chai-Star, please be patient with us. You're dropping a lot of great business in the comment. But since Blue Sasquatch has jumped in, that's his standard comment. Is this live? So Blue, as we are always, we are live. We're very happy to have you in our conversation with MIB. I just want to mention briefly to Blue, because I'm trying. So Blue behind me is the Monsterologist T-shirt. So I wanted to reference. I don't remember if Blue saw those episodes, but monsterologist.com. He's got prints and patches of Sasquatch-related material, Yeti-related material. So that might be a good place for Blue Sasquatch to check out Sasquatch-related product. Now back to our main feature of MIB. I am in the best of ways overwhelmed because this man has given us just such a wealth of so many directions and so many topics and so many points within this conversation. Let me jump back and say I wanted to appreciate that you put Barbie product on your channel, because then that gives me another topic of conversation with the wife who in her day has been a legitimate Barbie collector. Now I have a plane and the chimes together. That's not the best timing, but we'll just ride it out.
Sounds good.
I also wanted to say, as far as your population or your loyal commenters and viewers, I was having a positive conversation with Screen Name Rogue 2 the other day, and so I enjoy fan to fan speaking with your people. And man, I was just trying to get caught up on my thoughts. So okay, so that's related to the bird. So your subject range, your different exhibitions within the museum, if you will, you also had, not too far back in the past, but you had included some comic book content, which is the again, peanut butter and jelly, peanut butter and chocolate, toys and comic books, and coffee in the museum. You had cracked open probably a late 70s comic, and you were breaking down the ads in the comic. So again, just in other words, you're not just, you see which of your videos get higher views, but you're not afraid to branch out and include, here's some Barbie. So maybe, I don't even want to say urban, I want to say selective audience content, but it's what you're interested in. And I was all over that video. I'm like, this is nobody else is doing that. There's, to my best of my knowledge, nobody else across all of YouTube is saying, let's have some fun with the old comic book ads in the paper comics. So from the idea to putting it on the screen, tell us a little bit more about how did you get that video out?
Those, ideas like that, just, sometimes they pop in my head. I am a huge fan of Ray Bradbury, and I watched the documentary on Ray Bradbury, and he had the TV show, the Ray Bradbury Theater, and I think it came out in the late 1980s. And the intro part, I love the intro part of Ray when he comes in. He's got all these different toys and items around. He said, this is where he gathers all of his information. He said he'll never starve down here because of all of the things that he can just look at and create a story from. And that's kind of like me. I'm in, I'll come down here with my cup of coffee, and I'll just look around the museum, and I say, what can I do today? What would be fun to do? What haven't I done? And that's kind of where the ads came from, with the comic book ads came from. Because once again, as a kid in the 1970s, having comic books and reading my brother's comic books, I always enjoyed looking at the ads. As opposed to just being colorful, they're very informative and they're really cool. So I said, you know what? Let's do a video exclusively on the comic book ads from the 1970s, and see what people like. And I like to throw things out there to get a gauge of what people like. I never, like you said, to your question, I never concern myself with the views. If it only got 5 views, it's something I enjoy doing. And that's why another reason I took I said, you know what? I'm going to come out the Barbie closet. I've always appreciated Barbie, but as a guy, an action figure guy with an action figure, channel, I remember putting out the first Barbie video, and somebody, one viewer wrote in, MIB and Barbie, what? Are you kidding me? And so, but I said, it's something that I'm passionate about. I can't explain it. I mean, you're either passionate about collecting Barbies or you're not. And I just always thought they had the best vehicles. Barbie has it all. Think about it. She's got the motorcycles, she's got the Ferraris. She's got the campers. And what people don't understand is a lot of stuff that Mattel did back in the 1970s, like with Barbie's camper, was doubled and used for Big Jim for his camper. And people don't realize that. So they're so quick to jump on the Barbie. You collect the Barbie camper, yeah, but it's the same camper. All right, they just colored it different. It's the same camper. Barbie's Jeep is the same Jeep that another action figure line used. So it's just rehashed and reused items, but it was Mattel's Barbie stuff first. So I said, you know what? It's too cool to pass up in a toy. As a matter of fact, speaking of which, I'll have a video coming out for Barbie Sundays. Another video for a cool vehicle for Barbie, and I'll probably do that tomorrow. And kind of unveil that. So it's just fun. So that's just kind of where I get the ideas from, just sitting in my museum and just looking around. And with 1,000+ items. You know, it's just really easy for my mind to kind of run wild and figure stuff out and come up with nice things to share with you guys.
That's awesome. And thank you for framing it the way that you did of how you approach the content, because it's actually something that Mr. C and I debate about often, about topics. What makes sense for this channel? Some stuff may not make sense, but if we think it's cool, then maybe it's okay. And so generally speaking, we've gone towards, if it's cool and we like it, then we'll talk about it. But then in other cases, there's stuff that we've, it's just too far afield. It doesn't make sense that we haven't done. But generally speaking,
I like the discussion with the She-Hulk and the different TV shows. I really enjoyed that, because I'm a huge fan of that TV show. So yeah, I tuned in and watched that one.
Well, thank you.
So you guys do great work. Great work.
That means a lot. That truly means a lot.
That really does mean a lot. Yeah.
Gee, can we do a couple of more recent Blue Sasquatch comments and then jump back up to some of the earlier Chi-Star comments? Is that good?
Sure.
All right. So let's along the bar.
You got the keys here, right? Okay. Yeah.
All right. I'll take some keys. Know that our commenters, our core group here, can come up with some interesting questions. So here comes Blue.
Guess.
If we give Barbie a gun, a shotgun, does that make her an action figure?
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean,
sure.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I don't see it ever happening, but absolutely.
Because you're not opening her up out of her box. So
no, she ain't coming out the box anyway. Right.
It's a moot question. Yes.
Right. I like this. Can I read this question right here? It says, this is Blue Sasquatch. So I use Barbie vehicles to customize for 6-inch action figures. Why not? Yeah. I mean, Barbie stuff is used a lot for custom fodder, and for a lot of people that don't know that, a lot of her stuff, her vehicles, her accessories, the townhouse, the dream house, a lot of this stuff is custom fodder. I had a guy that used the dream house and turned it into a haunted house for his Migo monsters.
Oh,
so, and he just did a beautiful. I wish I could find a picture of that. He did a beautiful job. Just turned the dream house into the house of horrors, really. But it was beautiful. But he did that with a Barbie. He went out and bought a Barbie dream house, fresh out the box, took it out and customized it. So I mean, it's not like people are doing it.
And
I think you just gave Mr. C a project just right now, right there.
I want to see it.
Well, let me say that's similar to what Casual Crafter did. Again, our local, growing up, we had different horror TV hosts, and ours was son of Svengoolie, and now he's Svengoolie, and now he's on the Me TV national broadcast. So what Casual Crafter did was, I forget which, I think the line is Monster 1600, which is more direct. The core fan base of that line was directed at young ladies, teen, preteen. And so he took that vehicle and converted it, and he did a video on it, converted it into a Svengoolie mobile. So that is, again, in the greater toy community, to take a mashup, here's two seemingly disparate elements and to bring them together in a customization process and enjoy it while you're doing it. And then whether you make a video or a Facebook post or what have you, just share it out in some kind of a way. The same kind of thing that when you're in the comic shop, spontaneous conversations can strike up, and that can be of great value. Or the same way as I say often, that this channel is an extension of the playground grade school conversation from recess time that Fanboy G and I used to have back in the early and mid 70s.
Absolutely.
All right, so to catch up on some of the Chi-Star G, again, a wealth of conversation and a wealth of comments. Earlier, thank you for your patience, art director Chi-Star. The question to MIB: what would be the dream, or as Jim Campbell and I refer to this as the white whale? So what would be your dream acquisition piece into the museum?
If I had all the money to spend, what would be the dream MIB toy? Oh man, for one, that's a fantastic question. It would have to be the USS Flag GI Joe set, play set from the mid 1980s.
Yep.
It would have to be mint in box. The last one I saw mint in box was going for on eBay was going for 10 G's, like $10,000. Yeah, it's about $10,500 something mint in box. So yeah, the USS Flag. If I had disposable income like that, I could just part with about $10,000. I would definitely add them. And look, and it sounds absolutely absurd. You're going to spend $10,000 on something that's mint in box. The box is massive, and you're not going to even open it. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, that's a good choice. I mean, and that box was so enormous. Finding a mint box, if it even exists,
right?
It would be a total fortune.
Absolutely.
And G, how would you answer the question from Chai Star on that same measure? There is there a current white whale or long-standing key piece that you have?
See, I wrestle. So it's a great question. I wrestle with the space thing. So the flag would be too enormous for my place. It would raise questions. But I would really like a terror drone, actually. Smaller, right? Smaller, more manageable. I would like a terror drone, but I kind of feel like in terms of like vintage stuff, I think I'm in an okay place. I don't have many things grails out there. All right, so Mr. C, you got it. Mr. C, you got it.
For me, on the related to the dollar side of things and the emotional side of things. So some of the sideshow collectibles brand, and they went deep into their classic horror pieces. You see the Lon Chaney Sr. as the vampire character from London After Midnight. So any or all of those pieces, they're roughly 20 years old now, and they do a black and white edition or a color edition. So on the finances side, those pieces would be of interest to me. But now I'm going to pull a little bit of a Jim Campbell corner and throw a little bit of a boomerang in it. My current piece that just through the Retro A-Go-Go website and Retro A-Go-Go studio and production house, the piece that's currently out of production that I've not been able to locate. I'm 4 out of 5 on this mini collection within the collection. They were having those similar to Monsterologist, a very quality patch. So I've got Count Chocula, I've got Frankenberry, I've got Yummy Mummy.
Oh yeah.
But Boo-Berry, so it's a funny way to answer the question, but really, if I'm able to find that Boo-Berry patch from Retro A-Go-Go, which is really difficult to find right now, that would be that would be the cat's meow for me.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Nice. I'm changing my answer. You're
entitled. You're entitled.
It's your chance.
Well, no, it's our conversation. But I was in the GI Joe mindset since you mentioned the flag. But actually, it would be a toy that you have, Mr. C. It's the Kenner Death Star playset.
Oh my goodness! Wow,
that would be my choice, because when we were kids, he had it. And it was a beautiful toy, and I admired that toy, and I did not have it for myself. I didn't really like it that much at that time, but now I can appreciate the diorama and the play value.
Oh my, yeah, it's very difficult to find now. Very, very sought after piece, especially it's the Star Wars toys from that time period. We didn't. My parents couldn't afford that type of stuff. I mean, I was fortunate to get toys. I bring it up in a lot of my videos, especially from the 1970s. But I had a next door neighbor, good friend of mine, that he got everything. He had everything. I mean, he got the AT-AT, playset. He got everything. I don't recall him not. I don't think he had the Death Star playset though. I don't think he had everything. $6 Million Man stuff. He had all of that stuff. I don't think that's the one thing he didn't have. That and yeah, that's a good choice. That is a good choice. That's hard, and you're very fortunate, Mr. C, to have that because, like I said, that's what I was talking about before earlier in our conversation. That's when you can kind of sit back and say, yeah, I got it, and you guys don't. You can that's when I break out the coffee, the good stuff.
Let me have a couple of comments on that. That's the finer coffee, right? That's the higher end coffee, the Starbucks level, if you will.
Absolutely. You got something like that in your collection. Yeah.
So then let me get MIB caught up. So right, that current, when I was young, I did have the Death Star. Might have been my brother's, that's blurred in memory, but the Death Star that's in the Fanboy Chicago Studio Museum, if you will, putting the stuff together. That is the childhood piece of my wife. So as we're again giving credit to the wives for their very valuable contributions,
very important,
to the hobbies and to life in general. Duly noted and well noted. Credit to the wives. But then I also wanted to bring MIB in on this piece of our banter. In a similar way to 1989 Batman, you have your Michael Keaton and your Jack Nicholson, and so look at did you see his eyes process right there? So Fanboy G has said to me in that same Joker to Batman kind of a way, "You made me."
You made me.
Now he had a significant collection in our youth. My brother and I suppose, definitely had a combined, it's 2 sets of birthdays in the house.
He had all the toys.
Birthdays. So then I'd be like, I didn't make you, you made me. So that's been part of our back and forth banter.
That's awesome.
I think it's also Jack Nicholson who says, where does he get all those wonderful toys?
Wonderful toys.
Yeah. So that was definitely me commenting about Mr. C there.
Okay. Other comments that had come from Chai-Star earlier, back to when we were discussing the cordialness or lack of cordialness of certain guests in the museum or people in the comment section.
Right.
They're just echoing that same thing. If we don't get so many comments in the comment section beyond the live stream. So on one hand, it's great to have any kind of comments, but again, if somebody doesn't want to be there, then let them go see a different museum or a different museum piece somewhere else.
Absolutely.
And I can't recall, did we get this one from Chai-Star or did we not yet?
Oh no, we didn't get that one. Has purchasing online and damaged shipped goods from stores or companies hurt the collecting industry? Is there a level of stress when you start opening up the shipped packages?
I think to that question, yeah, it has hurt it to some degree. I'm very particular when it really comes to shipping. There's places I'll order from that I've established a relationship with. Cosmo Collectibles, I know those guys personally, so I've been doing business with those guys for 24 years now. So movie posters, etc., and Big Bad Toy Store. Those are my 3 go-tos. I will use eBay, but it has to be someone that I've done business with multiple times. I'm comfortable in that regard. Receiving damaged thing, I have received stuff damaged, and it's left a bad taste in my mouth. And so that's a quick way to for me to kind of close off certain areas when it comes to that. And I'll tend to kind of stay to my watering holes that I'm accustomed with, that I know that I'm going to get solid business from, like movie posters, etc. He will contact me and tell me exactly what he's shipping, how it's going to be shipped, when it's going to be shipped, and let me know, and he'll let me know, tell me to let him know if there's any issues or anything like that. You can't beat that type of service. But yeah, it's the shipping stuff. It's especially with collectors these days. You're getting these things these expensive toys. They're collectibles. They're not toys at this point. Like I said, that's a whole nother conversation. But you get in these collectibles that I remember the retro, the first set of retro. I don't know if you can see it behind me on the wall back there, but those are the first retro Star Wars pieces that came out. I mean, what, a year ago, 2 years ago. Now they have the Mandalorian retro stuff, and they got all the rest of stuff. But those first ones that came out, I had a friend of mine that ordered I don't know where, Entertainment or something. He got it from somewhere, but the cards were all bent and disfigured and crushed. I'm like, oh well, I guess you're just taking those out. So to spend that type of money on those things and to have them arrive in that condition, it's very deflating, So yeah. I don't know if that answers the question.
I identify with that, just like with the prop that I've got of this. It came from, I've had generally good experiences with Hasbro Pulse, but this was unpleasant here.
That's real. I can't tell you, Fanboy G, that every time you hold that up, man, it really it's killing me, man. If I had a duplicate, I would ship it to you. That's okay. That's really killing me, man. Yeah.
I will open it up. It up.
Yeah, because they're so expensive.
Yeah.
Now, let's say we're more caught up on the comments, but again, the richness of comments that keep coming in. So
please.
In relation to again, look at the comedy coming from Blue. He would get the USS Flag, but by the size of it, it's like a coffee table. So he already has the coffee, and so the coffee cup reference MIB is as we're drinking the coffee on the show. Or sometimes I have the Geeky Tiki, sometimes I have the Leprechaun mug. So it's been a point of conversation here of what is in my coffee cup. So Blue's referencing that. Two jokes in a couple short lines of comment there.
I like that guy, Blue Sasquatch. He's my type of guy. I like that guy.
we like him too. We're not the same channel without him.
And
he also mentioned that he would try to chase down the Blueberry Patch. Blue, if you do that would be great. But then if you do that, you got to at least let us eventually send you a Fanboy Cantina shirt, Blue. Come here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, using that word choice, there's maybe a little bit of a similarity in that that we try to have with you, MIB, of we try to not hate on things. We try to be balanced about it. Like certain episodes of stuff that we've watched. A common expression that I'll use is, I wish I liked it as much as somebody else, or I wish that I could appreciate it as much as
that's a good goal too.
Somebody.
Yeah.
It just may not be for me. Yeah, we're not gonna like everything. I'm not gonna like Hasbro Pulse for all of its shipping, and I certainly don't like Walmart for its shipping things. But I try to be deliberate in word choice. It's unpleasant. It's unpleasant.
Sometimes it doesn't hurt to understate a thing for the purpose of tact or cultivating tact. And as a curator of exhibit pieces, you're also curating the tone of the conversation and the feel and the vibe of the comment section and the channel.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's why being a museum curator, you'll hear me use that term a lot. It really disconnects me from having to make those types of decisions. I don't like this, I don't care for that. But as a museum curator, my job is to curate anyway. So it's I can appreciate a little bit of everything. So for me, it still comes down to toy history. And maintaining, that mission of mine to curate toys that we're going to look back on 20 to 30 years from now and say, wow, I remember that toy. I hated that toy, but I do remember that toy. And it's kind of cool to see that toy 30 years later. So that's my mentality.
And such a positive mentality to be in the presence of. I wanted to jump back as my thoughts were drifting as far as the toys that have gone by that I haven't come around to again. I said this a long ago on our channel. One of my prized possessions of the youth was the Mego Bat Cave, and specifically the Bat Signal. As a kid, I would just get so charged up about shining the Bat Signal with the little battery in there. And then eventually came the day where it had to go out to the garage sale. But if I could get on that Mego Bat Cave again.
Oh, the heck.
Earlier in the years, Weeble's Haunted House, which I've displayed on this channel before, with that little glow-in-the-dark ghost Weeble. I know they go for, so they're sometimes more accessible to eBay and other times not, but they're always with a high cost. So that's another gem, a gem piece for me.
In the comment, it's MIB, if you have the Tokidoki Barbie edition figure, I'll poop my pants Barbie with tattoos. I'm not familiar with that one.
No, you know what? It sounds interesting.
Sounds interesting.
I would have to check my my Barbie collection. I'm pretty sure I don't have her. But it sounds interesting.
Yeah.
So you guys, just hanging out with you guys today is giving me, and listening to these fantastic comments from your viewers, it's giving me some ideas to do some toy hunting today. Stuff I need to look for.
Oh, are you on mute or am I on mute? What happened? It looks like you're connected, but
reading the comment, kind of cross-pollinate. It wouldn't be a show if I didn't mess up mute. It wouldn't be a show if we didn't make memory errors and have some inaccuracies in my comments. That being said, good to know the Junkyards had a good communication pattern with Hasbro as well.
Yeah. And there's another comment here from Blue Sasquatch. I did order some knockoff Ninja Turtles just for kicks from China, and the box came in the shape of a volleyball, reminding me of Wilson. Yeah, that's a heartbreaker. I'll order from Hobby Link Japan for import toys because they're like Big Bad Toy Store for the most part, where they'll be very good about the packaging and the bubble wrap all around it. That's everything. But beyond that, I worry about that's gonna just get abused in transit. Absolutely.
That's why I do the collector grade with. I like the fact that Big Bad Toy Store has that collector grade option. Costs a little bit more, but any way I can assure myself that a good night's sleep, knowing that something very expensive that I purchased is being taken good care of in transit, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, agreed.
I'll say this has been a wealth of conversation and community. I just checked over my notes, and I got most of the questions. But so one question in my notes section that we didn't get to address, we partially addressed it. But so MIB, your framework, your paradigm is that your exhibit pieces are in a museum. And so this is a question that I've pitched in your comment section on your channel. Does the map of the museum only exist in your head, or like when you go to a physical museum, they'll give you a museum guide? So is there a paper
brochure
section to section, or can you comment on, here's your Star Wars section, here's your Star Trek section, here's your Mego section, here's your Transformer section, or can you comment on the physical layout, the map of the museum?
Well, I think it's kind of what you just said. It exists in my head for the most part, but what I'm trying to do, as far as the channel, in regards to the channel, is I'm trying to really clean up the playlists. To have all the different playlists that will categorize all the Star Wars stuff, the Mego stuff, and chronological order too. What year, things of that nature. FTC figures, Figures Toy Company items, and break those down in chronological order. What year, this, that, and that. So I'm really trying to work on that. you know, with the RC. So, and I'm doing this in a process where I'm still collecting, so it makes it very difficult because I'm still adding stuff. So every time I get a new toy from a new toy line, like I just started my RC, you know, collection, you know, radio controlled cars. So I have to create a new playlist for that, you know. So it's just a process. I'm trying to be more conscious of that though. So because I get people will call into the channel and say, well, I can't find this video, you know, so could you point me in the right direction of where that could be at in the museum, on the museum's playlist? And that's kind of where I'm at. A physical map, you know what, I tell you, I don't even want to swing this camera around because it's like a bomb went off in here, but it's crazy. No, it's yeah, you know, right now G.I. Joe's hanging out with Barbie, and you know, Star Wars is over here kicking it with my spy bots, and you know, it's pandemonium over here right now. So I'm getting there though. I'm getting there. A physical museum is in the talks, though. Is in the works. It's gonna cost a little bit of money, but I would love to get the physical one with an address where you guys can all come down, and we could probably do the Fanboy Cantina show live from the actual museum.
Oh man, that would be the dream.
Rails of broadcasting. That would be something. My goodness, my goodness. We're glad to see Blue has just subscribed to MIB. That's
oh yeah, you know, thanks, man.
You know, to again cross-reference that way.
And I'll just put it up on the screen here. Yes, if you haven't already, subscribe to the MIB Master Toy Museum 1979. More than 3,000 subscribers, and the channel just keeps on growing. But it's growing because you keep on producing great content all the time.
It's, you know, and guys, for one, I can't thank you guys enough, you know, for really helping me out, being supportive, and I'm going to do the same for you guys, and to help build your channel, because this is fantastic. You guys are a hidden treasure. You know, I stumbled upon your channel, you know. And I think that's where I kind of, and then I met Mr. C in my channel, but it's like, wow, this is a cool channel. And I think more people need to know about Fanboy Cantina, you know, and all the good work that you guys are doing. And you're really getting the word out there for everybody else. We need to get that word out there for you guys. So you know, I'll put something together and start helping promote, you know, the Fanboy Cantina, because I think that's, at the end of the day, that's the cool part about our hobby, about our community, you know, the collecting community and things of that nature. Is really helping one another out, helping each other grow. Because when I started, I didn't have a ton of people reaching out to me. You know, I didn't think I was happy. I think I had a celebration when I hit 20 subscribers. And I thought essentially, I thought that's what it was going to probably be. You know, but I wasn't doing it for that. You know, I was doing it, hey, this is fun. You know, this is fun. Yeah. Do I make a few dollars from it? Sure. But, you know, at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that, as my wife's cutting her eyes at me. She said, yeah, it doesn't.
That's awesome. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's kind of the same for Mr. C and I. We do this for fun. And
right.
Actually, we focus more on this thing during the big pandemic, and it was a great way for us to stay connected and see each other virtually, as it were. And as you said, Mr. C, it's like the playground conversations we used to have as a kid, just now as 50-plus-year-old guys. But yeah, this has just been even better. Yeah, I mean, this has just been a joy. We have watched you, we have admired you on your channel, your content, and this has been an absolute treat. Absolute treat.
Guys, like I said, I'm big fans. Before anything else, I'm a kid at heart, so I'm a big fan of watching you guys. And I just think that's what it's all about. Talking about toys. I mean, what better hobby? I mean, it doesn't get any better than this, to be able to come down to your collection room and look at toys that you couldn't afford when you were growing up, your family couldn't afford, and now you see it sitting on your shelf. And I keep thinking about Mr. C's Star Wars Death Star. That's that's timeless stuff. It means more than a dollar. Sure, he can get a lot of money. Somebody would pay him a lot of money for that set, but it means more than that. And it's in here. I can't. I get all fuzzy and warm inside when I talk about stuff like this, because it's it's so much fun. I wish I could share that with everybody in the world, because I can be at work, and if I'm thinking about work, something to pop in to my mind about something, a toy in my collection. And I can't wait when I get off work, I'll make a beeline right from the museum, and I go right to that section of the museum, and I find that toy and just sit down and look at it. It's just, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. Guys, we live life.
Well, as hobbies go, this is a pretty safe one. Although in my house, I think my wife would like it to be about half or a quarter of the size of what it is. But but you could do worse. There are worse hobbies out there. So this is
way worse.
Yeah,
way worse. And it's just, look, guys. At the end of the day, this is I could do this all day. I could literally do this all. I can do this all day. It's fun. It's too much. It's too much fun. And truth be told, I want to say, oh my goodness, about a year ago, I said, you know what? I was actually contemplating just kind of shutting down the museum. Because I was just being overwhelmed with other things, outside things, of life, raising a family and working, and there was no time for it. So it was very difficult to do. I said, you know what? Well, something has to give. And I think my wife told me, she was like, you don't ever stop doing something that you truly find a passion for, and that's your safe place, where you can enjoy yourself. You need that place. I say, well, I will still have my collection. She's like, but you wouldn't have the connection with all of those other collectors that you really enjoy connecting with. And she said, now, because she told me a while back, you got all this stuff, but what good is it if you won't share it with anybody? You won't discuss it with anybody. You just go down there and it's just you and your toys. She said, there's other people out there in the world just like you. Go find them. And so she was right. And that's what I learned. Right. That's our wives.
And if you build it, they will come. And you built it, and here we came knocking at the museum door.
And it has opened a lot of doors. Yeah.
Let me come back to one other minor item, and then we have some more comments. And I understand we're in the process of wrapping up. Sometimes the wrap up is a process on this.
We're having a lot of fun.
in relation to the coffee, and now it's long ago melted and such. But I'm doing this also so Fanboy G can take a shot at me. So I would drink iced coffee, so coffee made, and then traditional put an ice cube from the ice machine into the coffee. And then in my way of getting creative around the house here, we also then took coffee and let it cool, and then put it in the ice tray and put it in the freezer. So then instead of water as an ice cube, so I've got actual coffee ice.
Coffee cubes.
So coffee cubes. So I had one.
Oh my goodness.
Coffee with ice cube, one of coffee with coffee ice, and then one water with coffee ice. But so I just wanted to throw that element in there also, so Fanboy G can take a shot at it.
You, sir, are a coffee connoisseur.
We try. And now let's come back to the other comments and see in the wrap-up process as it goes. Junkyard was relating to you and given. Thank you, Junkyard, for your kindness and your comment. And then Junkyard has a part 2.
Yeah, there were plenty of open boxes to play with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Oh,
At the store.
that's a whole other subject of the heartbreak, whether it was in some years gone by, be it Imagine Next or be it the Hasbro. We used to call them the connecting guys because they would have the interchangeable pieces. I forget the exact name of the line. When you're in the store and you see the box
Oh yes.
violated or looted from, here's a Bat Hound, but no Batman in the
Right.
box or any other example of that.
Uh-oh.
That's always also heartbreak. Unfortunately, I mean, misery loves company. I mean, I don't mean we should celebrate that we share that disappointment, but I guess good to know that other people are also disappointed by that process. Blue says that's how he got into YouTube, meeting other toy collectors, and we're glad to have Blue along for the ride.
I'm gonna subscribe to him.
Great. Yeah. Hey. The more the merrier. And yeah.
Mr. C, it's Mr. Coffee. That's what I stand for.
I'm good with it. All right. So commenters,
great.
did you have any other last round of comments to pitch in? We're about 4 minutes shy of breaking our record for longest episode ever.
Yeah.
So
break it.
No, this has just been excellent. I've already shared my love for the channel MIB, and you just being able to talk with you is you're the same person. It's in this kind of one of many conversation with you, MIB. It's just so wonderful.
I appreciate that. And like I say, hey, the feeling is mutual, guys. Like I said, watch it. You guys show, enjoy it. And you guys are really down to earth, good guys that enjoy talking about collectibles and toys and just the collecting community as a whole. So, I mean, I really, like I said, I've been looking forward to this. Was frustrated that I couldn't get my schedule lined up the way I wanted to, because I think me and Mr. C was talking, this was a few weeks back. You guys were so patient with me, and I was telling my wife, I said, I really want to hook up with these guys and hang out with them, because I keep getting jammed up. And she was like, it's gonna happen, relax. But you guys have been so awesome and patient with me. Yeah, that's why I said I had to get in here early, because I wanted to make sure everything was just right. So we could just, we get this thing going, man. It's like I said, this is fantastic for me.
It's a round of fantastic on all of us. Let's say Blue's comment. He has one video. He's moving. The toys are in storage.
Okay,
that's definitely something. Hey, keep us posted, Blue. Whether it's on your own channel or whether it's the comments here, keep us posted on the process.
Right.
Let's say maybe my closing question to MIB will be both a video concept and then a camera execution. So Emma, you were spot on in your acknowledgement. You had a tribute video to Rachel Baker, who's then listed on the back of the packages as seamstress. So that's synonymous to costume designer or arranger of the. And again, look at other product lines. You're not getting cloth goods on the figures. So credit to MIGO for maintaining their history. Like they didn't say, oh, we need to cut costs now that we're back in the 21st century. They maintain their tradition.
Right.
So I will say, of all your episodes, and again, because you had the wide panel of figures, I would say for my enjoyment as your viewer, the camera work you had on that was just so smooth with a little rock steady fluid flow from figure to figure. So I appreciate the camera work on that episode as your top camera work from my enjoyment as a viewer and a fan. But so again, concept wise, you're sitting around looking at the back credits thinking Rachel Baker deserves credit. So what was your thought process in creating that episode tribute to Rachel Baker?
Had the pleasure of meeting Rachel Baker in person at the 2019 MIGO meet. So to see her in person, I like I said, I'm just a big fan. And, if she was on a baseball card, I would have about 5 Rachel Bakers, baseball cards. So I'm a huge fan. She is as nice in person as she comes across on some of the live streams she does and the work that she does with other people. But to see her, you know, in person, and she took pictures with me, my wife, and my kids and stuff. Just a big fan of hers. So I said, you know what? I don't think she gets nearly enough love for what she truly does. I mean, she is a truly gifted young lady, and to do that type of work. So I said, you know, I wanted to gather all of the stuff that I know she's had a part in doing. And it's so fun. It's so cool because think about it, guys. When we were kids in the 1970s, we didn't know the people that worked for Mego. We just cared about the toys. But it's so cool now that we're older now. You know, I know a lot of people. At Tom King is another great guy that I know personally, who does the paint applications for the Mego figures. So knowing Tom personally, knowing Rachel Baker personally, it's so cool. That's another cool aspect. But I wanted to do that for you know, for Rachel, and just to, as a shout out to her of appreciation, and just to let her know that, you know what, hey, we're as fans and consumers, we appreciate the work that she's doing, you know, because they really need to hear that.
Agree.
Yeah.
Agree.
And for the camera work you were talking about, real quick on that, somebody else gave me a nice compliment about the camera work I do, I should say, on the videos. But there's a reason why I really focus on that camera work, is because I told a viewer this. I said, because I don't take the toys out, so you're getting a lot of these close-up shots of the figures. You can see the texture of the, you know, of the clothing, the face, you know, the weapons, the tiny accessories. I want to bring you as close and as involved with that action figure as I possibly can. I think that's the next best thing than as opposed to taking it out and posing it for you. So I want you to have that relationship with that, you know. So I got a lot of people told me that, hey, I wouldn't have gotten that figure if I didn't see your video and see the fabric of that clothing. And it works both ways. Sometimes I say, well, you know, I'm glad I did see that video, because you got that close-up shot. I saw that you know, that clothing was horrible. I didn't like it. I didn't like that material. So thanks for showing me that, because now it saves me, you know, $20. So, but you know, that's the reason for I really focus on that camera work. It's really because I can't take the figures out for you guys. I want you to really kind of drink in all of that figure, you know. So that's where you get a lot of those close-up shots and, you know, all that stuff. So another little fun part, a trivia part there.
Good to know. G, do you have what do you got at this point, sir?
No, I think I'm good. I'm just conscious of time. So
all right. Again,
this has been a wonderful conversation.
MIB custom shirt to MIB. After we end the transmission, do stay with us. Look, good thing we didn't end yet.
Matt. Matt has been with my channel for since the beginning, since 2017. We love you, Matt. Thank you so much for the years of support, buddy. I appreciate it.
Matt, thanks for stopping
fantastic day.
Thanks for stopping over here, Matt, for Fanboy Cantina.
Subscribe to these guys, Matt. They're fantastic.
Hype man. All right, well, I'll say again, the wrap-up process. Our previous longest episode was our documentary tribute to Rich Coase for his 70th birthday, son of Svengoolie. Our new record breaker was last week, but as of this episode here, MIB has taken us to a new title long duration, approaching the 2-hour mark. But let's not get to the 2 hours.
We won't do that.
After all this coffee, I do need to visit the other studio, if you will. But
right.
Let's do the wrap up. It's been a pleasure and a privilege to have the MIB Master, a guest on the Fanboy Cantina. Fanboy G, take us home.
Well, I was just going to say, and if you have not already, I don't know what you're doing. You just got to you got to celebrate, got to subscribe to MIB Master Toy Museum. It's just wonderful content. If you, hopefully you've in this video, you've gotten to learn a little bit more about the man behind the channel, the man behind the videos. And this was such a lovely treat. So definitely subscribe to MIB. And this is, we cannot thank you enough. This has been a joy.
It's been my pleasure. Like I said, I've just been a big fan of you guys and a kid in a candy store. You guys let me run around your channel for a minute and an hour and 50 minutes and 40 seconds and counting it. So I've just been a joy, an absolute joy, guys. You made my day today. I truly appreciate it.
Oh, awesome. No, thank you. And and pick even more subscribers to the MIB Toy Museum. And if you are watching later or after the fact, post in the comments. We would love to hear from you. Maybe MIB would be so kind as to respond to folks that post questions. And,
absolutely, my pleasure.
All right. Well, thank you so much. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. We appreciate you. Thank you for spending a little bit of your Saturday with us. And again, thank you so much to MIB. And thanks for watching.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
all
everybody.
Right.
MIB, stay on with us. We'll chat briefly after we end the show.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Take care. Thanks for watching. This has been the Fanboy Cantina.